Guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video. So I don't know what's going on with Facebook. It's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video. Hope you're well wherever you are, and welcome to part 4 of my plans for supporting and empowering Native people from across the Americas. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope I won't have too many technical issues, preferably none really. But anywho, as ever, please let me know what you think. And I didn't get around to finishing this yesterday, so I thought I'd finish it today. It's already like 3 o'clock, so anyway, I'm in a charitable mood today because it's the 23rd. That's a silly little pattern of mine, but I'm normally in a charitable mood anyway, but I guess it's probably not that different to usual. But anyway, I'm trying to think about how can I help as many people and animals and living things as possible, especially those who help themselves, shall we say. I guess when it comes to people, I think that's the thing, they help themselves. Like, on that note, when it comes to, like, say, helping the homeless, for instance, I think we need to build more homes, let's say here in Britain or in America or anywhere else, building more homes and shelters. I think places where people who don't have home can go to, where they can get meals and, I would say, meals and food, meals, drinks and whatever, and also training opportunities. And I think people have already done stuff like this. There's places where they can go and get a shower and different clothes and things like that, and get training, maybe for a scary thing called a job. I suppose the alternative, unfortunately, in this scary old world, is not having a job. But imagine, if you could train people who are homeless to get jobs, and then maybe even set up their own businesses and learn to invest and things like that. But as I say, helping those who help themselves. Not saying I'm always very good at doing that myself, to be fair, if I'm honest. But anyway, these are pointers number 31 to 40. But as per usual, I thought, to make it easier, I thought I would talk about what I hope to achieve in the future. So in the next 5 to 10 years, or whenever possible, ASAP, as they say. So here goes. So number 31. Oftentimes when I make these videos, I do wonder whether, I know I mentioned this before, but I wonder whether they do make a genuine difference. I wonder if people out there sort of will say, oh yeah, that's a good idea, or it helps people to think differently, or whatever, especially about helping others, let's say. And maybe it could encourage people, as well as businesses, organisations, charities, NGOs, companies, or whatever, even entire governments or whatever, sovereign funds, for instance, or whatever, to invest into and generally support Native Americans, whether that's for PR purposes, where they think they'll get a good ROI, return on investment, or just generally from the goodness of their heart, like in my case. But yeah, I hope my video I hope I can speak properly. I hope my videos, as per usual, I hope my videos will make a genuine difference, a genuinely positive difference, generally. A bit of a mouthful. Yeah, I'd love to know if you have any suggestions on like what I could do better, what I could do differently, what actions could I take, in this case, to support Native people from across the Americas. How can I put those things into practice? And maybe, like, if you have your own ideas and things like that. So how could people generally support Native people from across the Americas, including America itself, of course. Maybe like supporting their businesses, investing in them, funding them, and that kind of thing. But also like writing letterheaded letters. Sorry, I'm not sure what happened to my throat there. Writing letterheaded letters, or whatever, formal or whatever letters. Maybe sometimes informal, but I suppose it'd probably be better if it was more formal. For companies and that kind of thing, charities, NGOs and whatnot. And I suppose the beauty is you could always just slightly edit it, so you wouldn't have to write out a letter, but you could send it to many different companies, like a speculative letter, if you like. But yeah, to companies, charities, NGOs, or whatever, sovereign funds or whatnot, to say, would you be interested in supporting Native people from across the Americas, like funding their projects, basically, and that kind of thing, helping their startups and that kind of thing, like I talked about in part 1, and I've been talking about number 32. So yeah, on that note, I'd love to know what sort of things you would do to support Native Americans. So hopefully these videos do inspire people to say, yeah, I'd love to support Native people from across the Americas, because they went through quite a lot, and they went through quite a lot, and there's it would be good to support them. So people out there who are interested in being allies for native people from across the Americas, like what could people like us do together? What actions could we take, or what things could we say? What things can we do generally, or whatever that could benefit native people from across America? And how could they help themselves, as I said in the intro, kind of, and how could they? What sort of things could they learn? What would you say to them about empowering each other, themselves and each other? One of the things I say is like uniting together. We are #stronger together. Number 33. So I'd love for, say, for instance, I know I'm thinking of things that begin with S, but I'd love for, I suppose it rhymes with 3, but I'd love for tea companies, tea brands like Tata, which owns Tetley, PG Tips, or whatever other tea companies, or companies generally. I don't know why I thought because it's 33 rhymes with tea. So, but companies generally, as I say, to support Native Americans projects, whether that's businesses, poetry, art, writing, singers, songwriters, or whatever projects they might want to work on. And I'd love for them to be tax exempt. I hope that I get to lobby for that, and people to come together to talk about what the best ways to be allies for native people from across America. I'd also love to interview and talk to native people from across the Americas. Maybe if I get a chance to go to America and visit some of the reservations and talk to some, and like do street interviews with Native Americans, for instance, to say, or even like in Brazil or places like that, to say, I suppose that'd be on my bucket list, to say what does freedom mean to you and things like that. Number 34, so I'd love to do loads of street interviews and things like that. And maybe people could try different street food from Native Americans. They could sell their food products and things like that on the streets, and good market for that. And thinking about what's in US again, but I'd love to go and visit parts of the Americas and support the native people from across Americas. And I talked about like having rights and representation at the UN and things like that for native people from across the Americas. I think that would be pretty cool. But again, I'd love to know what you think out there. And again, what would you do to support and empower and uplift Native Americans and Native people from all over the Americas? How do you think they could work together and improve lives for themselves as well? And how can other people help them to do that? Number 35, and generally supporting their ambitions and aims, goals, dreams, objectives, and that kind of thing. Generally speaking, whatever those dreams may be. Number 36, I dream that Italian soccer teams will support them. And I dream for them, if I was really dreaming, I don't know if I should say this, but I know I always say this one, but I dream they would get free sex on white chicks and free shags. Moving on, number 37, I dream that Celtic, I shouldn't say these things, but if I was being honest, Celtic would also work with them, and other sports teams generally might follow suit. They might say, oh, that's a good idea, especially if it benefits, hopefully, which I hope it will benefit Italian soccer teams. I dream it will benefit Celtic as well, and maybe others like the MLS. MLS teams could involve more native people from America or even across Americas, especially because they're based there. Like they could say, oh, we'll have more academies in those places. NFL teams, NBA teams and whatnot could include them more, like set up academies and offer training for them and fundraise for them and support their education, training, teaching and that kind of thing, helping them in business with their startups and SMEs and that kind of thing, fund their mentorship or things like that, funding like hubs and centres for them to run businesses in and network together, have funding opportunities and things like that. And hopefully if Italian teams do that and Celtic does that, it would encourage other soccer leagues and teams, like I say, MLS teams, the MLS itself, the EPL, the English Premier League, the SPL, the Scottish Premier League, the Saudi League, La Liga and others might follow suit. The league, what are they called? Liga 1 in France or whatever, might follow suit, and I guess the EPL has a bigger budget, to be else, but I hope it'll benefit CWR teams from a bias point of view. But yeah, I love to support Italian teams and Celtic to work with FIFA and UEFA and say, like, if we get more funding for football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, in Italy and for Celtic. But yeah, that might encourage like other sports teams. And also I love for like music companies, basically people to sing to fundraise for Native Americans. So maybe like Soccer Aid, and also like when they did music for like We Are the World, to fundraise for children in Africa and things like that. They could do similar for Native Americans as well, to fundraise. I hope it'll be genuinely a positive difference, and that kind of thing. It'll make a positive difference. Number 39. So yeah, I hope to achieve these things and put them into practice as much as possible. And number 40. On that note, like I say, what would you do? As I asked, to improve the situation. What are the best ways to support Native American startups, SMEs, and projects generally, in your view? Please let me know in the comments. And yeah, how would you support Native people across the Americas? And on that note, I'm out, and peace and love.